Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's that time again. Another
Woo
episode of
woo.
Dark Depths. And I am joined tonight by Matt Cosmore and our new special guest, filling in for Tyler Norris tonight, Chase Cosgrove. Hey, Chase.
What up?
Chase, you want to introduce yourself a little bit? Let us know where you're from, what you do.
Yeah, sure. I'm from Michigan, obviously. Good friends with Cosmore and Chris. I work at Gamers Gauntlet, and I've been playing card games pretty much since Magic came out. And yeah,
Yeah, I
um,
hear you're pretty good at Magic, and we're also really good at Kaijudo, and Turnout are also just a casual savage at Force of Will as well.
yeah. Well, I mean, all the tournaments except for last night where I went 0-2 and just left. Just kidding.
First time for everything, finally. Jeez.
You can't win all the promos.
Right, right. Well, I did get some sweet bling for my deck today, though.
Oh,
Some
did
full
you?
art little reds and foil guivers.
Oh, did you order those, or where'd you get them?
I got them from the store.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
Full art little reds, those are hype.
Yes.
All right, well, uh, episode 5 of Dark Depths. This is our first continuation week in a while. Like we said, we're really trying to get this keep going. We really love this show. It's a lot of fun, and we do have some stuff to talk about this week. No like massive, big things, but we have some stuff we're going to talk about. And then, as always, we're going to take a bunch of questions from you guys. So we're going to start off with the big stuff that's coming up this weekend. ARG States. With those big, awesome, beautiful Halloween Booty Cat playmats. Uh, States. I know in Michigan we have a big one coming up at Youmacon this weekend. You guys want to comment on that?
Uh, well, I mean, it's at Youmacon. It's $25. I mean, you can pre-reg on gamersgauntlet.net, and if you don't want to participate in Youmacon, there's a $5 wristband for Saturday. Gets you into the CCG hall all day. You can play in all these mini events. Buy from any of the vendors in the CCG hall. Just $5.
Which really, it's just gonna be $5. Game your heart out all day long. So if you wanna play board games, if you wanna play trading card games, it's gonna be the place to be.
Oh yeah, and even I think a few hours after state starts, there's the rebound event where we're giving out Gamers Gauntlet cat mats to the top of those. So
Cats on cats on cats.
Yeah, and I know there's a bunch of states events going on all across the country this weekend. It's going to be really awesome. A lot of people are raking in those Halloween mats. A lot of people getting some ARG points. Uh, just a great weekend overall for Force of Will across the whole country, but we're a little biased towards Michigan because it's going to be an amazing weekend.
Just a little bit. And that's why I'm sure people are wondering what's up with
well,
the Gamers Gauntlet logo at the top. So yeah, I just had to add that because we're all players at Gamers Gauntlet, so that's why
Yeah.
that's kind of I had to rep the store there for one episode. Don't mind me.
Well, in addition to ARG states, and that's on Sunday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right, Matt?
No, ARG is Saturday,
Oh,
and our
Saturday.
championship is Sunday.
Right.
yeah.
So yeah, in addition to Saturday, Chase, why don't you talk about Sunday a little bit?
So Sunday we're running what we're calling the Gamers Gauntlet Youmacon Championship for Force of Will. Top 8 players will get Gamers Gauntlet exclusive Alice Resonator playmat.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I saw it in person the other day.
I've been spamming that picture too. It's really really nice artwork.
It turned out really
Mhm.
well.
Yeah, and I know there's at least the guys from New York coming down for all of Youmacon weekend, I think. So
Yep.
probably gonna have some other people from maybe Ohio and Indiana coming in too.
That's awesome. Yeah, guys, and those of you in the chat, if you're going to an ARG States event this weekend, let us know what state you're from, where the event is, and if you want to, you can let us know what deck you're playing too. We'll do some shout outs. I see some already. I saw a couple of people talking about it, so
Georgia and
um,
Florida look like the two states being represented right now in the chat.
yeah, for sure.
Which I'm just excited, and again, huge thanks to ARG for doing this kind of stuff because we are in this kind of lull phase between, before season 2 starts. So ARG really helped us out with doing some Circuit Series events and then doing the whole states event just to have it so we would have something to look forward to play in. So I'm excited to be judging. I'll be judging all weekend. But I know players just really are looking forward to playing in a serious competitive event, and not necessarily having to travel far away for. I think there's 32 locations for states in total, so
That's awesome.
that's insane for the first year. Again, Force Will's only been out for 8 months, guys, and ARG was able to coordinate 32 states events. That's pretty impressive.
Looks like one of our viewers is going to be judging Tennessee states, Florida Hype, Jacksonville, Carrollton, Georgia. Nice, guys. That's awesome. Yeah, we gotta just a huge shout out to ARG. Like the amount that this game has grown, largely in part because what they've done is amazing.
Oh yeah, they put a lot of support behind new card games and stuff like that. ARG is really good.
Yeah, and the store tourney kits, the tournament kits are awesome. And I know I saw those mats posted today in the Force of Will group.
I was just gonna say, did you see the new Percival mats? Oh my god! I need that so bad.
Those yet, actually.
You should go pull those up real quick. The Percival Judgment is absolutely insane. Yeah, I need to find a way to get that really bad.
Judge an ARG event?
Well, yeah, but I guess we're just gonna have to play another major Gamers Gauntlet event.
Oh yeah.
We need to get one of those kits. That's how this works.
I'm sure we'll get one.
If somebody wants to type in the chat to DP Grim, tell them to refresh or something, because it seems like everybody else's volume is working. I'm not sure why DP's volume isn't working, but if he can't hear us, somebody needs to type to him and let him know to refresh or something.
Or I can do it.
Or you can do it, but now everyone's gonna do it.
Yep.
No, not everyone refresh at the same time.
And crash.
And yeah. Oh, shout out to Matt for making our overlay look sweet.
Yeah, actually.
We're in a nice straight row where our faces aren't bouncing around and shrinking and growing and shrinking and growing.
They're almost all the same size.
We look good today, and Chase is even channeling his inner Tyler Norris and recording on a potato.
Hey, this was a really cheap laptop, so whatever.
That's fine. Your microphone sounds great.
Yeah, it's a Razer Kraken. It's really good.
Nice.
That's actually the same microphone he had, or headset that he had, and then the wife was cleaning, quote, and it disappeared somewhere.
All right, well, so yeah, ARG State's going to be awesome. Youmacon going to be an amazing event. I think they're expecting over 22,000 people this year.
It's a lot of people.
I know.
Last year downtown Detroit.
I know. It's going to be insane, spanning between Cobo Hall and the Renaissance Center. A lot of walking.
That people mover.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
time to walk everywhere.
Cobo to the Rensen isn't that far of a walk.
No, it's not bad at all.
It's just straight down the water.
Yeah. And I'm just you just got to wear comfortable shoes. It's not a big deal. And like any con, wear comfortable shoes.
Oh, and the best part about it being downtown Detroit is Texas Day Brazil.
Oh, sure. Texas Day Brazil, yeah. If you guys haven't been to a Brazilian steakhouse in your life, all the viewers right now, you need to find a Brazilian steakhouse and go eat all the meat you possibly can.
Of course,
chicken, Matt.
It was not that great. You don't go to a steakhouse and get chicken. I learned my lesson. I was actually going to give a shout out to Hot Taco or Bucharest Grill, since I lived in Detroit for those 4 years, and very good stuff. Or if you want ramen, Johnny Noodle King. There you go. There's my other plug for good places to eat. For
those of you who don't know, Matt doesn't eat red meat, so we went to a Brazilian steakhouse and Matt came. So you can imagine how that went.
Yeah, it was pretty awful, it turns out. But everything else looked amazing.
You gotta give me some ramen this weekend.
Oh my god, I'm going to Johnny Noodle King 100%.
Yeah, I'm totally down for some ramen. I also kind of want to get Coney's at some point too. Because why not?
Well, count me out.
Yeah. Hey Matt, you want to go to a restaurant that's a bunch of red meat slapped between a piece of bread?
Nope. Can't do it, folks.
Anyways, yeah. So we don't have a ton of topics tonight, so there's going to be a lot of this. But anyways, moving on from ARG States and Youmacon, we might be able to come back to that if we think of something. But let's talk about how we have recently unexpectedly received some spoilers from Force of Will that seem like they may not like, we should not have had them. That's what I'm trying to say. We should not have had them at this point.
I don't think we're supposed to get them, but I think they did a decent job of covering that up.
And see, here's the thing that I definitely want to talk about as well. If they framed it as Dark Alice that did it, and if it was a player or let's just say whoever that was trying to get this content, they probably would have released just the entire set all at once. So to me, it seems like it was just a really good PR move.
Yeah.
And this is something that we see a lot. I know Capcom does it a lot, and what's the other one? Namco Bandai. There we go. That's their name. Is also a very, it's a very well researched and well founded PR Japanese company move. So, spoiler alert, everyone, it was probably a 100% intentional. And Dark Alice was just a good way to thematically present it. So, either way, I'm really happy to have them. We got some spoilers super early. Everyone's insanely excited about Reflect, which they should be. Jason Mind Sculptor 2.0 for the Magic players out there. I won't go that far with it yet, but just a comparison on the fact that it has 6 different things that it can do, which is insane.
Yeah, I think we'll have a small talk about the Reflect Ruler after we're done talking about the spoilers, because I know people who want to hear about it, so we can talk about it. But we definitely have gotten some cool spoilers. But I agree with you. I think, like, if somebody were to like hack Force of Will and get their spoilers, they would have just been like, dump, here you go.
Yep.
Like they wouldn't have like released them in a group of 4, or 4 or 5, which is what Force of Will did at the beginning of this game. Anyways, they like groups at a time. And I remember like when we were writing articles for Italy, like they gave us like 4 a week or whatever. So like it wasn't. I don't think it'd be kind of like weird if somebody hacked it, and honestly a little funny, but like it was probably just a really good PR move.
Right.
But it's awesome because we get to see some cards.
Yeah, well, definitely went down the rabbit hole in that one.
Haha, Alice. I get it.
I just gotta say.
Wow. Yeah. So that's basically the content we have for this week. So I guess we can start taking some questions, and we can just kind of just talk about stuff, life, the universe, whatever. Let's just talk about that Reflect Ruler for a little bit. It's a pretty insane card.
Now that's the one that supposedly can switch back and forth, right, between ruler
Yep.
and...
Yes, it can. Apparently, yeah. Like, according to the spoiler, it can. It can bounce back and forth.
Well, I know Matt was saying that some of those abilities might not be correctly translated or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
2 of them were incorrectly translated so far. The incorrect translation is that you can like protect your guy, but it's just that the resonator untaps end of turn. And again, my normal disclaimer: none of this is official until the English text of the cards is released.
Right. This is all speculation right now.
Because I'm sure I'll get quoted later. I'm like, oh well, Matt Cosmore said on Dark Depths. No, but like the thing I really didn't that I think a lot of people are getting too caught up on. Yes, it can flip back and forth, which is nice, but the ruler side of it is setups for all your like early to mid game abilities, and the J-ruler side is set for all your mid to late game abilities. And a lot of people are saying, oh, you're going to waste stones, you're going to miss out on calling stones because you're flipping all the time, and that's simply not the case, because you're going to be spending the first 6 turns, we'll say, building counters using those ruler side effects, and then you're going to flip. Where you have finally enough stones in play, you'll have enough counters, and then you can just flip it back whenever you feel like it to add more counters then. And guess what? It still flips for free, so you're not wasting resources generating those counters. It's an insane card. I don't like the fact that it's probably going to create a lot of draws just by people going, okay, which one of these 6 effects do I want? And people are going to have analysis paralysis while playing the ruler. So I do see that as being a problem going forward.
But it's going to slow the meta down a little bit.
Oh, good God, yes.
Which I love. I think I like games that are fun and interesting, not games where it's like turn them sideways. So I am hyped for this card. Like, I don't know how it's going to affect the meta. It might suck. It might end up being like, wow, this is awful. But I like playing control or a heavier mid range style. So like, for me, I'm super hyped about this. The meta will slow down. There'll be a lot more interaction between players, and we'll maybe. I mean, it's going to be similar to like right after MPR released when every round was going to time because everyone was playing control. But
That is what I'm not excited about.
but
I mean,
but
rounds
like
still
listen,
go to time.
but listen, like the super fast decks like Bonsai Grim and that stuff
Or that way.
will counter those control decks. Like what this control ruler is going to do is going to keep like mid range Blazer in check, right? So like
Oh yeah, like the
like
mid.
anybody who understands card games know that usually aggro decks counter control decks, mid range decks counter aggro decks, and control decks counter mid range decks. So like we don't have really a real control deck in the meta right now. We don't.
Except Vlad.
Yeah,
The thing is, no one wants to play Vlad because of the Vlad mirror. But guess what? You know what really crushes that Blazer mid-range deck? Vlad control. Hard crushes it. Like 90-10 crushes it.
Well, yeah, it should. It should, right? That's what a healthy meta is when you have that triangle or that, the checks and balances of
Yep.
each type of deck.
Rock, paper, scissors.
And then you have the combo decks that are just like YOLO swag, 420 blaze it.
420 Amada it. Thank you.
Typically the combo decks beat up on the aggro decks and control decks beat up on the combo decks. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean that's typically where like that rock paper scissors comes in. Like I know mid range does beat up on the aggro decks and control beats up on the mid range decks, but that's kind of like a thing where if a deck is slightly slower than the deck it's facing, the odds are it's going to be better and it's going to beat the deck that is a little bit faster. That's just how it is.
I think I'm going to say it now. I think this December, when TTW drops, right? December, we will see the healthiest meta we've had since the beginning of this game. I think so. I think we'll have people who will stick to their Blazer, or to their, not their Blazer, I mean Blazer mid-range, the people who will stick with their aggro, Bonsai Grim, things like that. And we'll have people who were the control players who miss Scheherazade Green.
God, I can't wait. Oh my God, can't wait.
I think we're going to see a very healthy meta, and it's very exciting. Because now, like, we're at the point now where there's a significant amount of cards. Every time a new set gets added, more diversity. Like you already seen the diversity change after
SKL.
This SKL just dropped. So like we see a huge shift in the diversity of decks every week. Like even in a 15-player tournament last week at Gamers Gauntlet, there was out of 15 players there was like 10 different decks. So like where before SKL there was like Blazer and everything else, right? So like it looks like we might have lost Chase, but he'll be back. I'm really, really hyped because I remember when this game started, Matt, like you and I were playing and it was like February.
Back in February, as one of the original members of the US group and before anyone had product in the entire United States, we were playing on Lackey. Yes.
And back when I remember like when those sets dropped, when Crimson Moon Fairy Tale and Castle of Heaven Two Towers dropped, and there was like 10 viable decks.
It was just a crazy fun time.
And I think we're about to see a return to that. So, yeah, I'm hyped. I am super excited for this set drop.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a lot. A lot of people were worried about like the health of Force of Will and how things were going. And I mean, you can quote me from a month, 2 months ago, but it's just we didn't have the card pool for it yet. And oh, surprise! As soon as we start adding, cards to the card pool, more decks pop up. There's more viability in the meta, and there's more options for people to really just have fun with and really play what they want and still be competitive.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's always going to be like the one deck that everyone really likes, and guess what? It's Blazer mid-range right now. It's probably taking up like 25% of the meta.
Yeah, but that's
fine.
That's fine. 25% of the meta, like that's better than like 70% of the meta Blazer, right? Like or not Blazer,
or Bahamut. There you go. The other B ruler.
But like, I think people are like, I just saw DP Grim say that the meta is healthier than people give it credit for right now, and I think I agree with that. Like our meta right now, like we're in the process of still figuring out SKL, and I think the meta is in a place where any deck could win on any given week, and that's exciting. And it's probably the healthiest. The meta is probably healthiest it's been since like March, and
Yep,
it can only get better.
100%. That's why the really awkward shout out that I'll give it now, you guys. If you were tuning in for Force Community on Monday, I played the uh, mono red Alexander. Yes, that's the Vingolf ruler for everyone that is not familiar with it. That actually top aided a 78, 7, like mid 70s player event. What? Like Alex?
I mean, maybe that was the only ruler he had access to, right?
Well,
Maybe he just like bought the Vingolf set and then a few singles for mono red deck and was like, well, I don't have Blazer. Play Alex.
I mean, but the funny enough part is that I think the when it enters the battlefield it deals 800 damage, and like that's actually super relevant. Like it's just a better little dread like we had back in the days of CMF TAT format. That 800 damage that little dread dealt on entering the battlefield was super relevant. So now you're just putting it on a significantly better ruler, and it's like, oh, turns out this is still a good effect. 800 still kills a lot of stuff in the format.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
I think, honestly, I was thinking about it the other day, and everybody's like super hyped about the new rulers, and everybody's playing Blazer and stuff. Like, I think there's room for some of the older rulers to make a comeback. Like, everybody's everybody's forgetting about like Dracula. Nobody's playing green right now. um,
The lack of green is really weird to me.
like
Like it's so good right now.
you could punish the meta right now super hard by playing like a Dracula red black deck. Because how do you stop Dracula? How do you stop like Carmillas without green? Dracula Carmilla and like that's that kind of stuff. So like I don't know. I think like I've said, people are still figuring out SKL, and everybody's playing with the new rulers right now because they're like, oh sweet, Blazer's amazing, and Blazer is amazing, and Valentina is amazing, and and people are like playing Pricea Four Sacred Beasts, and that deck's really fun, even though it's not the best deck in the world. It's probably tier 2. It's really fun, and like a guy at the shop at Gamers Gauntlet's playing Bonsai Elves, and it wins games. So like,
yeah, I'm so afraid of that deck.
Turns out Double Christie Bonsai kill you is a good strategy.
Well, elves should not have counterspell. Much less cryptic command. So, I mean,
yeah. Oh, Dark Lumia. Like, oh, I'm gonna play Endless Night and Sign of the Future, and then recycle them infinite times because I have Lumia flip. Like,
yep. Exile with Death Scythe, get more value out of it. Thank you.
Yeah, like I lost. I took second at the weekend tournament, and I was playing Bonsai Grim, and I lost to that Lumia deck because he's like, oh, on my first 10 cards of the game, I have 2 Sign of the Futures and an Endless Night, and oh, well, I'm gonna have those for the rest of this game over and over again. So, peace out.
Sign of the Future is just insanely good right now.
Man.
Yeah,
and I will tell you, Endless Night is a hard card to play around when you're playing Bonsai Grim.
Yeah. Card's stupid.
5 for 1 you? Good game? Alright, let's do this.
Like, I'm glad that Stoning to Death is still relevant, not. Like...
I mean, I've seen some decks playing it still, so...
Yeah, well, why do that when you can kill 2 resonators for 2 mana with Sign of the Future?
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, because you're not playing light, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, I mean... Yeah, if you're playing any aggro deck, you're gonna kill at least 2 resonators with Endless Night for 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Like all Cheshire Cats are dead. All the little reds are dead. Like
you're dead.
I think if somebody said, couldn't you play Rizard Carmillas and have it run better? I don't think so, honestly. I think Dracula is still a super powerful ruler, especially like the fact that you could just steal stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we got Scion and we got Arla to increase the number of vampires that we have in the deck. The unfortunate part is that you still have to take Blazer into consideration, so you need some kind of ruler protection in there, however you want to do that. But Dracula just having himself with Imperishable, assuming again that they don't have Death Scythe, is also super relevant.
I think it's a super, like, unless like you have to pick and choose, right? You could go red black, Dracula and just go straight to the face, or you could play red black white Dracula and hope to not get punished by Split Heaven and Earth, which is a really underplayed card right now. Like
It's
people just
Yeah, it
like
stupidly
is.
underplayed. It's
people like
stupid.
magically forgot about that card, and like the meta's getting greedier again. Like people are running 3-color decks with all dual stones, and it's like I if it was me, I'm probably gonna play a 3-color deck this weekend at ARG States because I know no one's gonna punish it.
I mean, there might be like one or two. So like the two biggest like meta monsters, if you will, right now are the Blazer Split deck, which is the 8 dark stones, 2 special stones, so you can sideboard into splits, and guess what? They're still amazing. And then the dark light version, which sideboards the I hate calling it the Jesus card, but like Splendor of Savior or whatever it's called.
Oh,
Yeah,
Savior
whatever it
Splendor.
is, to exile a dark resonator, which technically that version's probably better in the mirror because you can just remove all the guys that can't bring him back with like Arthur's or Dead Princes. But those are like the two biggest decks right now, as far as that you have to counter and take into consideration. But yeah, just Split Heaven in general is this insanely good card that we're only seeing in like the dedicated mono red aggro decks or
And
the Blazer split
and
deck.
like the sideboard of Bonsai Grim, like
Yeah, because you can still afford to.
yeah, like I and like with like people aren't experimenting with these rulers like with the Regalia, especially Dracula with give Dracula swiftness with the Regalia. You're gonna be stealing some stuff. Like I don't know, like I think there's a lot of unexplored territory so far because people just want to play the new rulers, which is fine. But we can't forget about the stuff from 6 months ago.
I mean, I've been actually wanting to make a big push for Joan de Arc because for anyone that's been following us since like the very, very start, that's consistently been one of my favorite
I love
rulers.
Joan Arc. I
Um,
love Joan Arc.
Inquisition is insanely good. Turn three, well, turn three, four, depending on like your early games. Oz into Inquisition is insane value as well.
Oh,
Like there's a there's a lot of good stuff that deck is still doing, and guess what? We got even more humans so that we can flip Joan of Arc for free. To top that off, Joan of Arc herself is a 12/12 that we can now give swiftness and imperishable to. Holy crap. Oh wait, I'm sorry. And we got the blessing. Is it the blessing card that does it? Whichever one is the search your deck for a stone, put it into play tapped. Oh, let me just find this mood art that I need and put that on top. Or put it into play, not on top of the deck. But yeah, you get the idea. Like there's just so many good things that you can do. And I know that a lot of people were, hating on the Regalia, hating on Excalibur, Demon Sword, but like those do actually help out older rulers as well.
yeah.
Do you ever think Abdul will get another push? I definitely don't think Abdul is going to be, or I'm sorry, it's my opinion that Force of Will, someone was asking this in Twitch, Force of Will is going to move away from the keyword enter effects and just have when this resonator enters the battlefield, or enters the field.
Yeah, I think First Will has made it clear with the past few sets that they just want Abdul to be dead forever.
Yeah.
That makes me fine. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that.
I'm fine with it.
Says the Grim player. But in all seriousness, like it's just Force Will is still learning. They're very young, and they want to make it where you don't have these mixed enter effects. So just having a very clear understanding of, okay, this card literally says when it enters the battlefield. Doesn't care where it comes from, doesn't care how that it got there, it just cares that it enters the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just easier for new players to grasp. Because right now, if you tell it, like try to get a new player into this game and tell them, okay, so here's how enter effect works and here's how standbys work, is just enough to give someone a headache. So I'm glad that they're trying to clean up the rules and clean up the different keyword abilities that they have.
I want to comment on what DP Grimm just said. DP Grimm said, the biggest problem is that Blazer just oppresses a lot of potential J-ruler strategies. Your deck just can't be built around J-rulers right now.
False.
And well, okay, false, sure, but you have to remember that pre-A0, pre-Alice starter decks, your deck was never just built around the J-ruler. Like, your J-ruler was, like, almost non-existent. Like their goal with the Regalia and that kind of stuff was to make the J-ruler more relevant.
Yep.
And it's a tug of war, right? They they made the J-ruler super relevant with A0, and then they're like, okay, well, maybe we should, try to balance. They're balancing it out as they go, which it's gonna happen. It's a new game. They don't have a ton of cards, so like the we were at a meta where the J-ruler was literally the only thing that really mattered. Blazer, or not Blazer. God, I keep saying that. Bahamut. Now we're starting to go more towards the happy medium where there's decks that still really heavily rely on the J-ruler.
28 Regalia.
And there's decks that are, less reliant on the J-ruler. And I think...
Vlad.
No, Vlad, obviously. Yeah, those are two opposite ends of the spectrum. So I don't think Blazer is a problem. Like, I think that card is good because it keeps decks that are trying to just spam their J-ruler in check. And you need to have decks that keep other decks in check, or you'll have a meta where 80% of the meta is one deck.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
That was a good way of putting it.
And
like, if we didn't have Blazer right now, how many people do you think would be playing 28 Regalia?
or
All
just
of
and
All of them. You're right. Everyone.
well, I mean, it's also just important to know it's like that is the check and balances that we got. Like, really, at the end of the day, that is what it is. But it's also important to note that in the next set we have Valentina Zealot, I think is the name of it, Zealot, whatever.
Zealot. Okay, you've never played StarCraft before.
I haven't. My life for ire. We're getting that card that says you can banish it and your J-ruler can't be targeted till the end of the turn. So you actually get to protect it, banish it early, put in your J-ruler. I'm pretty sure that's the wording of the card. And then like your J-ruler is protected for the end of the turn. So we're having more ways that we can protect our J-rulers. Cards like Arla are just insane when you combine it with a bow. But yeah, sure, there's going to be some games where you want to flip it into a ruler or two, then it becomes a viable threat in itself. So I definitely think Force of Will is pushing the we're going to have this card have checks and balances, but we also want to push it a little bit more towards people being able to play their J-rulers and having a few more options for them. So shout out to all the water cards finally getting more support, for crying out loud.
Remember when water was completely useless except Cheshire Cat?
Dark days, man.
No.
Let's talk about... I know people... I want to talk about... I saw somebody mention it too. Who was it? FOW Flip Matters. Let's talk about Valentina 2.0. Because people have been freaking out about this.
Darn it.
I think the card sucks. Like, I don't think it's that good.
I don't know how to tell you guys, but yeah, it sucks.
It's cool that like it can use the best part about that card is that it gets to use all the god arts. So like think about how relevant some of those god arts are going to be in a deck that's built around Valentina. Like, first of all, you're going to have to use up half your sideboard to put those rulers in there. You don't get to just pull them out of your binder. That's not how that card works.
That's not how any of this works.
That would be, if you could just pull them out of your binder, yeah, cool. That card would be pretty alright.
Drop all these cards on the table?
Still had all these! But you have to actually have them in your sideboard, guys. The card's not that good. It's gimmicky. It's cute. People will play it because it's cute. It's not good.
I mean, depending, like, you could kind of make it like a toolbox ruler almost, and just have like different god arts based on to use in different matchups and stuff like that. So I think that would be kind of cool and interesting.
It would definitely be cool, but like with a 40 card deck, how much are you going to change your deck around for it to be relevant? Like how are you going to toolbox a deck with Valentina as your ruler? Like, the god arts are super specific a lot of the times. I think Chase lagged out. Are you there, Chase?
I mean, yeah, right now.
And he's back.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, it's hard to with a 40 card deck. It's hard to like make your deck a toolbox around a toolbox ruler.
I think
Right.
the biggest thing to address is that a lot of people are freaking out, like, oh my god, this is the absolute answer for 28 Regalia. This is the best ruler in the world. And people are false to freak out about that because, one, the Judgment's 3, and 2, it's significantly slower than Kane, and 3, guess what? Blazer's still a thing and it still dies to flames.
Right.
Like
Like,
it's still.
It starts
it's
as what, a 7/7?
Yes.
Okay, so the strongest it can get to is what, 12/12? How many Seven
Seven
Kings
rulers.
rulers are there? 7?
Seven.
Okay, so
Seven
get to
is
14.
seven.
You get to a 14/14. Like, yeah, a 14/14 J ruler is pretty strong, but that's half your sideboard.
Yeah, I don't think it's what the card wants to be doing.
It makes it so that if you play against a matchup that's bad for you, you're just gonna lose. There's no chance of you sideboarding into something good, into something that's winnable for you.
And someone just said it doesn't die to flames because you just tap a regalia before flipping. Yeah, that's besides the point. The card itself dies to flames. Like if and also I would counter myself with just saying it dies to removal is never a good argument. No, but the thing is you have to consider that just having the threat of flames or having the threat of blaze or having the threat of death scythe is enough to keep people off from J activating and putting it, judgment, and putting that J ruler into play. So it's not so much of, oh, I can just beat it with this one card. It's how's that going to impact the game, and how much is it going to slow you down from being able to do your game plan where the Blazer deck is just going to override what you're trying to do.
Yeah, like if the card ends up being awesome, that's great. That's another ruler that will be in the meta. I just don't see it happening. Especially if Blazer sticks around in the meta, which it's good enough too.
Blazer's going to be sticking around 100%. I can't see that not being a reality.
Yeah. He's not that good.
By the way, bought 3 boxes. My 3 stamped rulers were Blazer, Valentina, and Pricia, so things happen.
Mr. Insane Value at Sealed Product. Mr. I pulled a congratulations card on the last time that he opened Sealed Product. Just absolutely insane.
Feels good. All right.
That is something I want to talk about. So Baja Monster just mentioned that. Can we talk about the new Dark Resonators that were released, like the Shadow Vampire?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna take half of that suggestion. Dark Faria is absolutely insane. You can play it as a 2-drop. It's a 5/5 with whenever it deals damage you gain life, if I'm not mistaken. Again, these are all to be properly translated. But just the fact that it has Awakening as well, so for 2 more it becomes a Resonator that gains you life and kills something when it enters a battlefield. I definitely see that being a dark card that's going to be played, if not immediately, as soon as the Grim Cluster rotates, because it's going to be like the new go-to, I want to kill something and still have a relevant body left Resonator. So I am super excited for that card. Unbelievably excited for that card.
That card, yeah, it's going to be sick. There was a couple other questions that I missed because we were getting to a heated discussion about Valentina 2.0, and I'm very opinionated about how bad that card is.
Yeah, what's opinionated about that is Matt is about stamps.
Damn!
Got him. We talked about.
Speaking of Matt, I need to plug something real quick.
Oh, geez, what now?
We're around 30 to 40 likes away from 500 likes on the Matt Cosmore meme page. And if we get to 500 likes, we will ship out another soon playmat.
Signed.
To a random follower.
Signed as well, folks.
Signed if you want it. So, I mean, go like that page. Tell your friends to like that page. You have a chance to get a free playmat. Come on, do it. Also, you get to see Matt Cosmore's face on a bunch of different memes.
Okay, some of them are actually really good. I gotta say. What about the zombies?
Baja Monster wants to know what we think of the new Arla art.
Arla's on fire. They took a note from the Hunger Games apparently. Sure.
Something about zombies. Are we gonna get any more support?
I don't think so.
Looks good to me.
I'd like to see more zombies, but based on the lore, I mean, Dark Alice doesn't seem like she'd be bringing zombies with her, so it's a toss-up. We're seeing a lot more beast support, so that's nice. I guess
Yeah.
we won't have a 4 Sacred Beast playable deck, but we might get tier 1 deck, but we just maybe will get a tier 1 beast deck if we get to see some more support.
Let's talk about what decks do you think we're gonna win or top ARG states this weekend?
Blazer.
Blazer and Grim.
Bonsai Grim?
That or the one that came out of Italy, which I have a love-hate relationship with that deck, but
Which is basically reinvented Green Grim.
kind of.
It's Green Grim. Because Green Grim will always be good.
What other?
You think
There's
how
gonna
do
be
you
a
think?
red deck. I don't know what, like Machina red topped, Alexander red topped, Bahamut red topped, Vlad mono red topped.
How do you think? Do you think Yamada's going to do anything this weekend?
I know I won't say who, but I do know someone's playing actually a really sweet version of an all-in combo deck at ARG States, and I'll be surprised if he does not top 8 with it. It's
In Michigan?
It's insane. No, in a different. But if you, I don't know, are you gonna play? Are you gonna play the YOLO combo
I might.
deck?
I might. I'd like to know what his list is so I can also crush with it.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely ship that to you so you can play it in Michigan. But a lot of people saw that like my Yamada version is it has a zombie beatdown like secondary strategy to it. So sometimes you can just win by having it turn to 1,000 Northel tap and crush your opponent that way. And then, oh wait, you used all your removal, you used all your resources. Okay, now I'll reincarnate or I'll Book of Ebion Yamada and just kill you that way for 1,600 damage. Doesn't have to have enchantment edition resonators going on to it.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
but his list is a straight up I'm gonna kill you turn 3 every single game deck. And people aren't playing wind. They're not playing the hard counters to it. So
I know they're not. Nobody's playing wind.
You literally can't beat this deck if you're not playing wind. So
Not
sure,
true.
get
So
punished.
instead of shipping me a list, do you just want to build a deck for me tonight and so I don't have to do it?
No. That's all you after this.
Matt, you want to build me a deck so I can play it on Sunday?
Hey, Chum, you're just playing Bonsai Grim. Don't lie to me.
Eh.
I think you would like the Alice's Castling Grim deck out of Italy.
I don't know. It didn't seem to have like too many fairy tales in it. So.
You get to play Telefairy Tale into Hamlin. It's just so good.
Yeah,
So good.
that seems fine.
To DP Grim, Fetal Movement is a card. Guess what? I think out of the 16 top 8 decks recently to come out of Italy, only 2 of them had it in their sideboard. So, yeah, Fetal Movement is an insanely good card right now, and no one's playing it. Nobody.
In a net deck heavy meta, nobody's playing Fetal Movement either.
I don't know.
It's just the reality, guys.
I know you can only have so many cards in your sideboard, but all right. So here's my plug. If you're playing an ARG States this weekend, and if you have red, if you're not playing Fetal Movement, you're doing something wrong. I'm just
At least
throwing
in
that
the
out
sideboard.
there. Or sorry, in the sideboard. Yes, that's not a main deck card. It was before the errata, but
Yeah.
Everyone's sideboard's fetal movement. The Cosmore has spoken.
Yeah, we show up to ARG States on Saturday and like your Matt Cosmer's going through deck lists. And literally every sideboard has Fetal Movement.
why are all these 4-ofs in here?
Yeah, because the 27 viewers we have right now are going to impact the country meta.
Hey, I'll push this up. I'll put this video up on YouTube tomorrow. Everyone's gonna hear it before they play.
Yeah, man. That's just how it is.
Speaking of, I'm gonna plug our channel real quick. Force of Will US. We just recently hit 3,000 subs. We have an awesome contest giveaway going on right now, and it ends Sunday night. So if you're watching this before Sunday, November 1st, go enter our competition. Go comment on our video. Tweet us at. You can win play sets of stuff, play sets of Full Art Thunders, Glinda's, play sets of the cosplay Alice's. So much stuff to give away. So go do that. Don't miss out on that kind of stuff. Okay, and you have to be a subscriber, so make sure you're subscribed. Plug over.
And you can also tweet too to enter too with your YouTube username.
Yes, I said that, Mr. Cosgrove.
I wasn't listening to you.
Throw it out one more time. FOW 101.
TP Grimm's wondering if Italy is just a slower meta than us. He doesn't know how that casting Grim deck got there. Castling Grim deck got there. Has so many cute things, but just doesn't know how it got there. Yeah, their meta is way different than ours.
I gotta give it to Italy though. There are definitely more. Oh geez, how do I phrase this properly? Their top 8 lists are significantly more innovative than what we traditionally see in the United States. So I will give them credit for that. However, it's very important to note that Italy meta does not equal USA meta. So it's interesting to look at their list, and I really appreciate Jan, however you say his last name, for giving us all lists. But I don't think that's something that you can take just, card for card and say this is going to work at my locals or this is going to work at ARG states. You should definitely tailor those lists to what you want to play and what you expect to see at your events.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Blazer Cthulhu?
I mean, it's what I'm currently playing. It's an insane list. Again, with the lack of wind-based control decks, which, again, just play Vlad. Vlad crushes it. So unbelievably slow. The Blazer Cthulhu deck does not have a fast clock at all. It's so good. It's a very good... Blazer is just a great card all around to answer everything right now.
Makes me want to play green this weekend.
Yeah, it's... If you're playing a Wind Dark X control deck, so you have counter spells and Dark Pulse, you're probably in a really good spot this weekend.
So Vlad.
Yeah, I hate to keep plugging Vlad, but see the thing.
And odds are you're not going to run into the mirror match.
That's true, but holy crap, is the mirror match. I mean, that's the only reason I don't play Vlad right now is because I don't have the stomach to play that mirror because you time out in game 1. That's happened twice now at our larger events, and it's just awful to watch.
War Dog Scythe is telling me to play Scheherazade this weekend. I believe that's Adam Fulton from GG, by the way. But I'm not going to play Scheherazade this weekend. I don't like Scheherazade's one of those decks you need to test pretty heavily.
Well, I mean, if you do play it, just make sure you don't 1001 Tails and Arthur.
Well, actually, it removes them from game, right?
Oh, I'm sorry for someone that's playing Lumia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that did happen. Oops.
Yeah, Dogma was playing Lumia, and somebody 1001 stories his Arthur.
That feels good. It's
Dogma was happy about it.
So.
I guess you just can't remove Arthur in that situation. You either send it to the graveyard, they banish 3 resonators and get it back, or they play it from exile. Good luck.
Yeah.
Someone play Abdul, aggro demons.
Oh crap! That's what I want to talk about. Thanks, Sketch 2622. Angel Beats. So, the deck
is very good.
Yeah, the deck is actually just a super good anti-meta call right now. It turns out I played against Philip. I'm gonna forget his last. I played against a guy, anyways, at locals last night, and yeah, it's just a super good deck. He even had Branch of Horai, which I'll let everyone look up that card. That's an insanely good card right now, it turns out. And it was playing the Heavenly Garden of whatever to just tap your dudes. But yeah, Branch of Horai, just... yeah, I can't give enough love to that card right now. If you're playing light, so all my Valentina players out there, I didn't have it in our sideboard, but I would 100% have it in my sideboard come tomorrow. And Kaguya is probably crying in the corner and hates me, but it was one of my favorite treasure items when the game came out. And it's getting insane value right now, Lancelots and Arthurs and Nartheltaps. There's just literal infinite things that you can tap down right now against a variety of decks.
Yeah. crazy. Branch of Horai is still good. Well, guys, if you want to get your final questions in, we probably are going to be wrapping it up here in the next few minutes. So if you have any other questions, make sure you let us know. We all have a busy weekend. All three of us are going to be at Youmacon pretty much all weekend. I know Chase has to work at the store tomorrow, and then he's going to be at Youmacon the rest of the weekend. So
Yeah, it's just a smooth open to close tomorrow, and open to close on Saturday. So
Yeah,
just
it's like
just a solid noon to midnight plus tomorrow. No big deal. And then be at Youmacon all day on Saturday and Sunday.
yeah, it's gonna be casually like a 30 to 40 hour weekend. Hey, but Chris, you get to have fun at least. I'll be judging and running Force Will demos all weekend, so there's that.
I might get to play on Sunday, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll check out like the vendor area for like 30 minutes, and that'll be my Youmacon experience.
Somebody wants to know about Alan Saint of Healing Tips.
Jeff Jones had a really good start on the deck. I mean, that's probably where I would start. Shout out to Jeff Jones for playing like the Dark Alice version.
You can check out that video of Jeff Jones playing on our YouTube channel, Force Will US.
This guy.
Shameless plug.
But yeah, I mean, it just plays, Endless Night and Storming Death and just value resonators that way, and it plays Deep Blue for the color fixing, so you can play Susan. I think it's a really good take on the deck, and I think Control right now wants to be either a very dark base or a very wind base, depending on what you're expecting to face going into ARG states this weekend.
What about some just general good sideboard cards for this weekend at ARG?
Split.
Yeah.
Man, I cannot stress that one enough.
That card is stupid.
Still stupid, turns out. Even though we stopped pitching about it.
Yeah, again, people just kind of like forget until they lose to it, and then they're like, "Oh right, I can't be greedy." Oh.
Yeah, people remember how much people used to complain about Split, and then it just magically went away. Turns out, card's still good.
To Reverend J about the Jeff Jones Alice deck versus Blazer Thulu. The thing to note, though, is in a revised list, or maybe it was in that list, I forget after talking with him, Zeke's just absolutely shuts down the Blazer decks, because they're often going to go, I'm gonna 2-for-1 myself and try to get this Powerful Tap out, and if you just Zeke's that, it's a 3-for-1, and they feel really, really bad about it.
Again, one of the main reasons why that Blazer deck is so good is because nobody's playing green.
Yep.
Nobody. When I say nobody, I literally mean no one.
Okay.
I literally don't think you know what the word literally means.
You keep using that word, but I don't think you know what it means.
I literally figuratively mean no one.
Do you actually know what it means?
I actually know what it means.
God. No, shout out to Scott. He actually did a huge write-up on it. Since SKL has been released, he is the only Vlad player that I've seen out of like the 50-odd players that I probably see for Force Will in like our small little area. So yeah, like that just gives you an idea. 1 out of 50. I'm sure there's probably gonna be a few more Vlad players now this weekend, but it's not going to be a significant amount. So yeah, Blazer mid-range will probably just get a free pass this weekend. So there's my...
Hear that, Chris? There's your in.
Vlad. I don't own a Vlad.
Chum, I can build you a Vlad deck and just give you Scott's list, and you would probably top 8 with it just because of how smooth of a running it is.
Okay. Means I don't have to build a deck.
No, I'm not building a deck. I'm shipping you a list. You are building it yourself, though.
He needs a Vlad, though.
Well, I'll dig up a Vlad.
You know who has a Vlad?
GamersGauntlet.com.
.net. .net.
GamersGauntlet.net has Vlad and many other singles at a low price. Jesus.
I mean, I feel like they're pretty comparable.
They are. Does the Vlad list run like other Vingoff stuff?
No, like it's a very clean Wind Dark Fire list.
That's what I like to hear. Wind Dark Fire.
Yeah, I think you would actually love the list. Again, like just playing the mirror matches on it's awful. It's just straight awful.
Yeah.
What percentage of the field do you think will be maining Blazer? I definitely think it's going to be like 20 to 25%. That's just a very real number that you can expect going into ARG. Well, let me rephrase that. That's a very well, if you could calculate all the people playing in ARG states this weekend, I think it would be 20 to 25%. I'm sure some locals will have like 5% Blazer and some other ones will have like 50% Blazer. But nationally speaking, I would expect a 20 to 25% Blazer meta.
I think in Michigan we're going to see a lot of Blazer.
Oh, yeah, we are.
We're going to see a lot of Valentina.
Thanks for
Just
that,
because-
Cosmore.
Yeah, thanks for nothing. And
No, seriously,
Valentina's...
thank you for that. Because that's like a buy.
that's
Yeah.
like a buy for Bonsai Grim. Yeah, Bonsai Grim rolls.
Bonsai Grim
Valentina.
just destroys that deck. But otherwise, yeah, the Valentina deck has been a very, like, it was one of those, so shout out to Jonathan and James. They've been doing a lot of testing for the deck. Like, when I first built the deck and worked with some other people on it, it was like, yeah, this is probably good. Like, we can, if, because I only get to play a deck for a week and then I have to move on to the next thing for content. But, like, yeah, this is probably a good shell. And they have just turned it into a real deck. Like, I'm this close from calling Valentina 1.0 tier 1, but for right now, it's a very solid, very, very solid 1.5 that needs like a card away from being tier 1.
Yeah.
It's definitely the deck I'm building next.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's a fun deck.
insane. It's just a fun deck to play too. Like it's just so good.
Yeah, it looks like fun. That's kind of why I want to play it. But
Draw all the cards.
Yeah, seriously. Baja Monster wants to talk about the new Red Ruler before we leave.
I want to, but I don't believe the translation.
Yeah.
So the way the card's worded, it's whenever Sylvia or whatever her J-ruler name side is, whenever it kills something, you untap 3 stones.
That's ridiculous.
That's super good,
Come
guys.
on.
Like that can't be right. Like, sorry. I will crush dreams right now. Like, I can't see that being correct. It's a 1,000 flying swiftness body that gets to untap 3 stones every turn.
Yeah, I mean, holy crap.
Oh, and it has color fixing on its ruler side for wind, which if you're playing that more red-green mid-rangey deck, you probably want some wind too. So, like
you're playing bows too, right? So you give a target attack too, right?
Vomit. Yeah, so that's, as for my rulers right now, I definitely think Dark Alice and Reflect Refrain are like the top 2 hands down right now. And then barring a translation mess up, like Sylvia, or I think that's her name. I'm sorry, I don't even know what the Red Ruler's name is. I think it's Sylvia. She would definitely automatically join that, top rulers of TTW Club.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Why does Dark Alice have Schrodinger's cat?
I don't know.
Why not?
I mean, sure. I just don't know the connection. Like, is there something there, like lore-wise?
No.
At least
No.
that they're going with.
Not that I noticed.
No.
They needed a good spot for Schrodinger's cat.
They
I mean, it's cool. Whatever. I didn't realize the cat was a god's item.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, it's there and not there, so I get it. Kind of.
Well.
Oh, one last one. Alice is a perma minus. Yeah, perma minus. Yes. So both Light Alice and Dark Alice, excuse me, their God Artifacts do remain until the end of that game. So it's a permanent +200/+200 buff to your J-Ruler's Resonators, or it's a -200, -200 debuff, if you will, to your opponent's Resonators and J-Rulers. So fingers crossed. I'm really hoping from emblems for Force of Will, so please, if anyone Force of Will watches this, please give us emblems. Like, my biggest problem is, like, sure, I activate this God Art, turn 8, whatever. Like, there has to be some kind of physical representation that effect is in the field. Otherwise, it's just going to be the biggest headache for judge calls. Because, like, oh, you failed to maintain, what your side of the field is supposed to be doing or reflecting. So it can be a way to like hide information, and it's just going to be a headache. It's just going to be a rule sharking headache.
We could make some, put your face on them.
No, don't do that. No.
Chomp.
No.
Chum.
So yeah, hopefully people will just like write on a piece of paper for God art. But I'm really, 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 really hoping for Force of Will emblems to be a thing, because that's one of the main things I really loved about Magic the Gathering, the Planeswalkers Ultimates. Like that's just it'd be a cool thing to have, just a little portrait of Alice, light or dark, and say whatever the God art is. I really hope they do that.
I really hope someone makes an emblem with your face on it now.
Cody Jennings will do it. I
Yeah.
can promise you now, and I'll probably use it because not having an emblem is going to bother the crap out of me.
It's over 9,000.
That was great.
Logging on my Facebook and seeing that was not so great. We had to take that down.
Rules question Cosmore is still the best thing that's happened in a while.
Yeah,
Yes.
submit to me more commonly asked rules questions, everyone out there, and I will make more rules question Cosmores.
Yeah, just so you know, guys, Chase is like one of the big mods on the Force of Will meme, or not the Force of Will memes, the Matt Cosmer
Cool.
memes, excuse me. Matt Cosmer memes. So submit the rules questions to Chase, and he will make rules question Cosmer memes.
Or at least, you can talk to us on the page. So
Yeah, that too. Well, while we wait for any final questions to come in, you guys have any closing thoughts before we head out of here?
Just good luck to everyone that's going to be playing ARG states this weekend, and just remember to have fun. Above all, like, yeah, I know there's going to be some competitive players that are going to be like, yeah, I really want to get first place. I want to get the Cheshire Cat playmat. But just remember, like, especially if you're playing at your locals, like, it's a great opportunity to get new people in the game and like really have that exposure to what Force of Will is all about. So please try to be nice. You are playing in a professional competitive environment, so
don't
act
be a
like
douche.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
So,
What about you, Chase? Anything?
No, I hope to see a lot of people down at UMaCon. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it.
Good
Hope to
luck.
have a good time.
Good luck to the three of us surviving Yomicon this weekend.
woof.
And rest in
Good luck
peace.
to all the steak in my belly.
Rest in peace, Kaijudo. Also, shout out to Good Times Games and Electronics on my shirt. Rob Gruber in Prince Rupert, Canada, British Columbia.
I love you, Rob.
We love Rob Gruber. Baha wants to know what we're drinking, Matt.
Rochester Mills Milkshake Stout. I drink stouts religiously.
I'm drinking a Founder's Dark Penance, which is a black IPA.
Chase, you got
I'm
anything?
not drinking it. No,
All
I'm
right.
not drinking anything right now. If I was drinking something, it would be Griffin Claw Imperial Pumpkin, Bourbon Imperial Pumpkin.
I have one bottle left, man. I'm just trying to save it.
I have like 3 bottles left because not only did I get the 2 from you, but Joe went down himself and got like 4 bottles for me
Nice.
without even telling me. He also got me like 2 bottles or 3 bottles of Norm's Raggedy Pumpkin IPA.
God, so good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never spent $100 on beer in one go like that, but
It's so worth it.
those bottles were insanely worth. Like that's the best, just the best seasonal craft beer I've had, and I can't tell you how long.
The next one you do, don't you gotta rim your glass with cinnamon sugar.
Oh, for sure.
Gosh. All right, guys. Well, I think that's gonna do it. I know we need to get some sleep, Matt, because we have to be at Yoma. Are you going tomorrow?
No, I can't tomorrow. That's I'm doing my how I'm actually allowed to go to Yomicon Saturday and Sunday. So no, I'm gonna be out celebrating Halloween with Sally on Friday.
I-
Hey Hop.
I am.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus.
Holy. All right. Anyways,
We're
moving
gonna
on.
get to meet little K Hop.
Soon.
I've met her. Soon.
You suck.
Yes, the elusive Matt girlfriend. Sorry, ladies, he's taken. But
Get out. All right, we're done.
all right, guys. As always, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to drop a follow down at twitch.tv/ForceWillUS. If you're watching live right now, you can click that follow button right below. If you're watching on YouTube, join us on YouTube. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let us know what you think, what we should talk about in the next Dark Depths. And for Matt Cosmore and Chase Cosgrove, this is Chris Durand letting you know to join us next time on Force of Will US. Peace out, guys.
Have a good one.